The problem is that we are not eating food anymore. We are eating food like products. And they are adorned. They are made to look better and smell better.
You're programmed to put on fat whenever there is food available. But now there's a lot of food available, but it's the wrong kind.
The food industry is extremely secretive, competitive, and proprietary.
The process is broken and in bad need of repair, and the American public is at risk.
The FDA is truly a rogue agency being run by rogues from industry, government, academia.
A new analysis published in the Journal of the American Medical Association Internal Medicine finds that food and beverage corporations have undue influence in determining if the substances they put in food are actually safe. So in other words, the FDA goes, yeah, you know, we could make sure everything is safe, or whatever. Hey, food companies, you just let us know if it's safe or not. We'll take your word for it.
And it's amazing how much math and science and regression analysis and energy they put into finding the very perfect amount of salt, sugar, and fat in their products that'll send us over the moon.
A search through a database of scientific papers and food industry patents reveals the extent of the science behind food engineering. Chemistry, physics, biology, all commandeered into the service of making profitable food. Here's a process for enhancing the cheese flavor without the cheese, where starting materials are proteins and fats, which means the amount of expensive cheese can be reduced substantially.
Predict a customer, you have a customer for life. Food companies do much the same thing with different chemicals. It's not nicotine, it's the MSG. It's the processed sugars, it's the aspartame, it's these other chemicals, but it's the same idea.
Because these products must be able to sit on the shelves for months, many of the ingredients have nothing to do with taste, but act as preservatives and chemicals to control the appearance and texture, and a series of ingredients known as flavor enhancers to trick the brain into tasting something that isn't there.
There's tremendous amounts of money spent behind creating tastes and smells that feel real, but in reality are completely artificial.
Because without flavor enhancement, no one would eat it.
It would taste horrible. You would just, you'd want to spit it out.
What most consumers don't know is that aspartame's approval was one of the most contested in FDA history. Consumers have reported more than 7,000 adverse reactions to the FDA, ranging from dizziness to headaches to seizure.
It's a killer that's worse than alcohol, worse than nicotine, worse than drugs. It's called monosodium glutamate.
Chemical of MSG excites the brain, and due to that excitation, your body activates the fat programs and gets fatter.
If you look at the studies that examined the toxicity of aspartame, done by Dr. Walton, of the 90 studies that were done that showed that there was no side effects from aspartame, over 90% of those were funded by industry. And you have almost the same number of other studies that were independently funded, finding the exact reverse, 90% of them showing problems with it.
He found that the results of industry-sponsored research turned out very differently from the non-industry sponsored study.
The reason that we are concerned with labeling is it creates unnecessary fear in consumers' mind until the industry has an opportunity to educate why we want to use this technology and the value of the technology. We don't feel that consumers just having a warning label will help them.
they're trying to increase their share of your stomach.
Blaylock especially recommends dark green vegetables because they are high in antioxidants to diffuse MSG. They're also high in magnesium, which can actually block MSG from those glutamate receptors.
System, our health has been under attack. So sometimes there's going to be a period of healing.
The body only wants to heal. It's crying out to heal. That's all it wants to do. It wants to naturally detoxify. Only the body can detoxify itself, providing there's no toxicity coming in.
What we're talking about is a real diet in the sense of what a species needs. When we get onto our real diet, we don't have to think about these things anymore.
So can you imagine, you remove refined sugars, refined fats, junky type foods, all the wheat, the breads, the man-made foods going into your body, and all of a sudden, overnight, you replace it with high water content. That's what it is. Pure high water content, organic, rich, mineral, vitamin-rich fuel going into every single cell of your body in the most easy to digest and absorb form, and with a spectrum of colors, with everything the body requires. What do you think the body's going to do? It's not going to reject this at all. It's going to look and say, now I'm on board. Now you're good to me. Let me shine for you.